Post-game analysis of what was the first draw in the last 5 games of the Sunshine Clásico, a game that it would be known that there would be a lot of rotation in the squad due to the US Open Cup being on Wednesday the 27th, and with also the absence of Messi, Alba, and Busquets. With all this, let's go into the lineup that Tata Martino put out for the Herons. The official team sheet had the side lined up in a 4-4-2, but in reality it was a 5-3-2, with Noah Allen as the third center back, and Robert Taylor instead of Kremaski, shown here, would be the left wing back. Another big surprise was, for the first time under the Tata Martino era, Josef Martinez and Leonardo Campana started up top together. And how the first half was typical Inter Miami style, holding possession, and Orlando, Oscar Pareja, knowing that Miami does this, decided that he would have his squad press high. And this has been something that Miami has suffered with throughout the season. It was an effective press that Tata Martino expected also when he lined up with 2 strikers, with Inter Miami having to resort to long balls, more long balls than probably have in a while, using Leonardo Campana as a player that'll bring it down and then play it to the other players. Inter Miami having difficulty with that press. They would advance to the middle, but they would never be able to really turn in the first few minutes. Usually be lateral passes or passing it back. And with Orlando's counter press really effective, winning the ball back, this left Inter Miami always on the back heel reactionary. This is where we saw crucial battles with Yedlin and Angulo. Yedlin had put up a very good defensive performance, but also the center backs were suffering with this, as the presence of Sergio Busquets to be able to give some calmness and be able to break lines, initiate the transition to attack. This left to Miami to really defend. And Toto Aviles, whose last weekend against Toronto was good at anticipating balls, this time went into challenges too soon and was lucky not to get booked the foul against Angulo, bringing him down. And there were very other chances like this where Toto Aviles or Kevin Acosta and some of the Miami midfielders were lucky not to get a yellow card. The few times that Inter Miami in the first half were able to break lines and control the ball in the midfield, David Ruiz was the main one, able to beat his man, go on a turn, try to get something going for this Inter Miami side that was struggling. David Ruiz, who continues playing well after last weekend, also doing well defensively against Toronto, this time offensively as well. There were moments in the second half where the center backs were looking to go long, and it seemed as though Josef Martinez and Campana were occupying the same space. This later on got corrected as the game went on into the first half, with Miami that held a little bit more possession than Orlando, 54% to Orlando's 46%, but Orlando was constantly creating opportunities. But as there were moments where Miami did find space with Campana shot outside the box, and a corner kick header that was the closest into Miami came in the first half, resulted into Miami ending with more shots on target, 2-1. And going into the half with the dilemma of Sergei Kristov, who looked like he might have picked up a concussion, and a Toto Aviles that was on a yellow, was looking like at any moment he could have gotten the second one and be thrown out the game. The second half, both center backs came off. Ryan Saylor, who had not played since July 8th against DC United, came into the match not having played many minutes. Was a very calm figure in the center back pairing. Didn't do much wrong. Was good at anticipating. Something I imagine Tata Martino is going to be happy with, seeing the positive of this young player showing up. Well, Kamal Miller came on with Kristov. Drake Callender also had a strong game, saving 5 shots, coming strong off his line on corner kicks or free kicks. Just kept Inter Miami in the game. It led to Miami's goal in the 52nd minute. Initiating the play, Leonardo Campana passing into Josef Martinez, runs behind the defenders, smashes at a Galese. The rest is up to David Ruiz to score. As the game continued to go on, there was looking like Inter Miami players getting more and more exhausted by the minute, with a Benjamin Kremaski that looked like he might have pulled up injured, but continued. Noah Allen also showing some fatigue. Midfield, Dixon Roy was helping out, winning the balls back, but also looked tired. This in the 66th minute, Orlando City were able to equalize, with the Orlando goal coming off and taking advantage of Robert Taylor that was tired and was not able to return quick enough to close down the man. Kamal Miller had to come out. Orlando find the back of where Maguire was able to capitalize and equalize. 1-1 game. Tata Martino trying to do some changes to see if he can pull out a win. Put on Farias for Jose Martinez. Martinez was quieter in the second half. And a Robert Taylor who looked exhausted for a Robbie Robinson. But Inter Miami looked like they had pushed to the limits. But then Ulloa coming on for Kremaski to close out the game and keep it to get the points. A point that isn't the best result considering that push that they have to make the playoffs. Still just 5 points below now New York City. Inter Miami will play on the weekend. With many players fatigued, it'll be interesting to see just what the lineup turns out to be on Wednesday in the Open Cup final. And if the squad is able to get the rest that it needs, able to perform and get that last push to make the playoffs with 2 games in hand. But overall, getting the point was a positive, as well as other results went Inter Miami's way. And with a massive final at home, one would expect Inter Miami to put toda la carne al asador, to put everybody that's available, and then focus on Saturday's game against New York City to push again for the playoffs.